have felt behind in life in any of these areas, if you're feeling behind in life in other areas of your life right now, I know exactly what you're feeling. And it sucks. It sucks seeing your peers or people who are younger than you kind of having experiences that you never had before, are breezing and just going up and up and up and up and up in their lives in a way that seems like such a linear fashion, and that you tried for yourself, but it just didn't work out that way for you. I know what that's like, and I completely get it. You're not alone. You're far from alone. So take this opportunity to not be so hard on yourself. Take this opportunity to just not even pressure yourself to get rid of that negative feeling that you have right away. You don't have to do anything right now, but just be and breathe. You don't have to feel better about this situation right now. And you don't have to change the situation right now so that you can feel like that you're on track, so that you get rid of the feeling of not being behind in life. Like, you don't have to pressure yourself to go to change your situation immediately. You can, in this moment, just be and be heard and be seen and validated, because I see you and I hear you and I feel you and I validate you and I am here to support you. So what's been most helpful for me on this particular path and journey? To no longer feel bad about feeling behind in life. And I'm not gonna lie to you, those feelings still pop up and creep up every now and then. But this has been these are the things that have been most helpful for me. For one, I do want to shout out a few content creators who touched on the topic in a way that I really liked, and in a way that I found very helpful. Of course, I gotta mention Alecia Renece. She has a whole song called Late Bloomer for people who feel behind in life. I will link it in the description box. Check it out. I find it so healing. I find her voice so healing. The lyrics are so wonderful. She also talks about how we are not behind. We are on our own path in life. And that's a common phrase, but I like the way she says it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these rules for how we live our lives, these rules about when we're supposed to reach certain milestones, were created by the systems that oppress us. Systems like the patriarchy, systems like white supremacy. These systems were not made really to help us. They were made to keep us in bondage, and we don't have to live according to them. There is joy that comes with being off the beaten path and embracing the journey as it comes, as it flows in ways that are unpredictable, letting that come and letting life surprise you, you know? So definitely check out her channel. I'll link probably some videos from her and other content creators that I mentioned. Another one I want to talk about is Matthew Hussey. He's a dating coach, which I have feelings about because I honestly don't like dating coaches, but I do like him as a dating coach. I do like his approach to dating coaching because it feels like he is very empathetic to women. A lot of dating coaches just are random people who hate women, especially Black women, and they just want to sit up on a pedestal and tell women how to live their lives, especially Black women. But I feel as though he puts himself in situations where he listens actively to women a lot, listens to their concerns, listens to their struggles, is this empathetic and supportive presence. And the tips that he offers, kind of like, he frames it in a way, I can tell that he reads a lot of self-help books around communication, a lot of the same ones that I read, because he frames his messaging in a way that feels very empathetic, and it doesn't feel unreasonable. It doesn't feel like you're being told to make all these lifestyle changes and change yourself as a human being. It's like, this is where you're at, accept where you're at, and let's make small changes that can change your life and could result in a partner. But even if it doesn't, it will result in a better social life for you that you will love and enjoy. I do want to share some of the things that Matthew Hussey talks about in his content. And there's one particular video that I have in mind that he made recently about feeling behind in life that was really, really helpful for me. One, you need to define what real progress looks like for yourself. It's easy to look at someone who's like breezing right past you in so many ways and be like, oh, you need to be like them. You need to be where they are. Well, you may have a different path from them. They may not have had your struggles and the things that you went through. So they're starting from a completely different starting point. You have to define what real progress looks like in this area of your life for yourself. Another thing he says is to not discredit the things you've learned and the ways you've grown on your own path. So like I said, I have in some way, shape, or form been learning about content creation and marketing for several years, even though I wouldn't necessarily say that I had been especially successful in my approach. I learned so many incredible skills. I've learned about so many different platforms. I've learned about so many different marketing principles that I was able to land a marketing job. You know what I mean? I learned so much and I cultivated my resume really, really well and was able to really have a personal story and a personal brand that stood out for me in the interview process. And I was able to get a whole marketing job. I'm a data analyst in a marketing agency. And now I'm learning even more great technical skills to help me. So yeah, whatever that you feel behind in life about, it's always because you spent that time doing and learning something else. And you got to give credit where credit is due for those things. Those things still matter. They shaped who you are and who you are becoming. And those are valuable skills in one way or another. So don't discredit that. Give credit to the things that you've learned on this path that you've had that has been tailor-made for you. That's important. There's this other content creator, Christina, Aaliyah. I like her content a lot. This particular video was alright, but the most powerful part of the video that I'm talking about when it comes to feeling behind in life, and I'll put them in the description box, the lesson that I learned from her, which completely snapped me out of this whole feeling behind shenanigans, is this. The idea that she had in her video is that if you feel behind in life and then you attain the thing that you think you want or need to not feel behind in life anymore, by then your mind is already stuck in feeling behind mode. Like your mind will just start looking for more reasons to feel behind in life. It won't even matter if you obtain those things. You've already made it a habit to look for reasons why you are behind in life anyway. And that was just like, wow, that's actually really true. Because I felt behind in life because I was struggling to get a job. And now that I have the job, I started feeling behind in life because there were people who were my age and they were much higher in the hierarchy. Like they got promotions and everything, and I'm still just an analyst. And it's just like, but bitch, you got the job. The whole time you thought, if I could just get a job, then I would stop feeling behind in life. And now you got the job and now it's just like a whole nother thing. So instead of focusing on getting the thing that you think you need in order to not feel behind in life anymore, just focus on getting rid of that habit of your mind looking for reasons. Do that reframing. Do away with the whole fucking thing. Or maybe just embrace that you are behind in life anyway and just be like, okay, whatever, fuck it. But whatever, you just find a way to do away with that habit. Because at this point, it is a habit. It is a habit that you're looking for ways to feel behind in life. Even if you're not even doing it consciously, on a subconscious level, your mind is just going to keep looking for more reasons to feel that way. So focus more instead on just being like, okay, fuck it. Either be like, I'm not behind in life. This is my life. I'm on my own path. Or be like, yeah, maybe in this area of my life, I do feel behind. What of it? It's still my life. This is my path. And there were good things that happened on this path. So I'm going to stay the course and I'm going to be fine. You have to just tackle that habit of seeing yourself as behind. It's important that you do, because if you don't, then there's nothing that's going to make you feel better. You can get the partner, you can get the job, you can have the content creator career, you can get the millions of followers and the millions of subscribers, you can get the accolades, and always feel that you are behind somebody, and that's going to weigh on your life. You got to get rid of the habit of looking at life that way. and get into habits that allow you to see the abundance of what you already have and what you've always had. And that's important. You know what I mean? It has an impact on your mood. It has an impact on your days. But yeah, those are the content creators that were most helpful for me. Another thing that was really helpful for me in this whole process of no longer being weighed down by feeling behind in life is the concept of empathy letters. So I created the concept of empathy letters, and it is like this. We can write love letters to ourselves, but an empathy letter is essentially where you focus more on showing yourself empathy than love per se, which are two sides of the same coin. But like the whole point of an empathy letter is you write down what empathy feels like to you and kind of make it like a formula. Write down, like, ask yourself right now, take out a pen and paper and ask yourself, what does empathy feel like for me? Like, and map out the steps in a way. Like when someone is showing me empathy, to me, that feels like first they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this, and then they do this. Write it out, kind of like a formula. That's what I did. And then when you feel any sort of negative feelings about anything, and you have the opportunity and the space and the time to write yourself a letter showing yourself empathy by following those steps in that formula that you created for what empathy feels like to you. That's been life-changing for me. I've been doing that for the past couple of years now. And I love it because I also just love that it cultivated a relationship with myself that I think is really healthy. Like, I have my friends and I have my community, and I'm looking to build that community further for sure. But I love that I've cultivated a relationship with myself where I will always be the first one to show myself empathy. I will always be the first one to show myself compassion. I will always be the first one to validate my feelings and experiences. That is what the habit and the routine of creating empathy letters has done for me. I like to record mine on my phone and listen to those recordings so that I can have them wherever I go. So whenever that same negative feeling bubbles up again, I have a recording that I can listen to where I'm showing myself the empathy, the exact kind of empathy that I need from others. And the great thing about empathy letters too is that because you make the practice of writing and showing yourself empathy in a formulaic way for the most part, because you're sitting there and writing the letter, following the formula that you initially outlined for what empathy feels like to you, you are better equipped to tell your community what it is that you need in terms of empathy from them. One thing that I kind of say to myself, if you can't open your mouth and speak about what it is that you need from others, you will never get your needs met. That's just the truth, right? Sometimes we find ourselves getting upset because we go to somebody expecting them to show us empathy, and they're showing us something that is not that. And maybe it's true that they love us and they're showing us and giving us something that they think is going to be helpful in some way, shape, or form, even though that it's not. They're trying to help us in some form or fashion, but it's not what you need. You literally made a formula for yourself that you use to outline and give yourself what you need. And because of that, you're a lot more able to confidently let your loved ones know what it is that you truly need from them in that moment. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to say this. This is what I need from you. And because you vocalize that, they're more equipped to help you in the exact way that you need them to. Are they going to? That's up to them. There's no guarantee. But at the very least, they know. You know what I mean? That's the whole idea behind creating empathy letters. So I'll share with you what my empathy letter formula is for me. Empathy to me is, the first thing is to acknowledge your feelings. That's the first step of the formula. Acknowledge. Taking a minute to just acknowledge what you're feeling. What this looks like in the empathy letter format is kind of just like, hey, Imani, I know you've been feeling XYZ. I know you've been feeling down because of the day you had at work. I know you're feeling down because you feel insecure about this. I know you're feeling down because this happened, whatever. Just take a minute to say, you're feeling this way because of this situation. Spend as much
or as little time as you want, just kind of with that part of the introduction of your letter. You're feeling this way, and just express whatever you want about what those feelings are and the impact that they're having on you, right? So that's the first part of the empathy letter formula. Second part is validate. Take a minute to validate your feelings. So first you acknowledged how you feel. Next is to validate your feelings. I say things like, what you're feeling is completely understandable. What you're feeling is completely valid. I completely understand it. I understand it more than anybody else because I have lived through that right alongside you. I write that down in my letters. I talk to myself as if I am my own friend, as if I'm standing right next to myself and seeing these things happen in real time, and am showing myself empathy because I have been there before. Yeah, take however long you need to just validate what you're feeling. Let yourself know that you're not crazy. Let yourself know that your feelings are completely valid. They're completely understandable, and that you know what that feeling is like, right? The third part is to relieve some sort of pressure. Usually for me, when I'm having some sort of really negative feeling or experience, there is the negative emotions around it, but I also feel a pressure to do something about it right now, to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling right now, or to fix my situation right now and to control something right now. You know what I mean? So for me, empathy looks like also just someone just relieving that burden off of my shoulders by just letting me know, hey, you don't have to do that. You don't have to figure this out right now. You don't have to feel differently right now. You don't have to force yourself to feel better. You don't have to force yourself to heal faster. You don't have to change the situation. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to discover the one true solution that's going to save and fix the whole situation right this very second. In this moment, you can just be, and that is more than enough. That's what relieving pressure is like to me in an empathy letter. Usually it starts with the phrase, you don't have to, or you don't need to, right? And the fourth part is support. Be the friend that you need. Let yourself know that you've got this, that you will one way or another overcome this, and that you're not alone, that I've got your back. Even though you're talking to yourself, you're just like, I have got you. You're not alone. I've got you. God has you. You have people in your life that love you, and they've got you. This is also a part where, like, if I have advice, if I have steps or affirmations or things that would help me remedy the situation, this is a good opportunity to share them for myself so that I can listen to the recording when these feelings bubble up and act on them. If I have it, you don't need that in order to write the empathy letter. I have a few recordings that don't necessarily have the solution because I just don't know it. And that's fine. You don't have to, again, because you don't have to pressure yourself to find the solution right now. But if you have tools, if you have ideas that could help you the next time those feelings bubble up, write them down in that empathy letter so as to help your future self. I hope that it was helpful for you to hear what the process looks like for me. I hope that it's something that you can apply to your own situation. And I really hope that this has been helpful for you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make like a little guide. I'm going to make a little guide with this empathy letter formula where you can use that worksheet to write yourself empathy letters whenever you need to, and let that help you. And let that be a part of your healing process. It has done wonders for me. It's there if you need it. If you're cool with just listening and just following along, that's fine. But I'll create a worksheet to help you if you want it. And I will be sure to leave it in the description box below. But I'm going to end the podcast here. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for being a part of this healing journey of mine. I hope you come back soon. I hope you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, and wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye.